Okay, we are going to be reviewing and unboxing the RetroFlag SuperPi Case. This Raspberry Pi enclosure is designed to replicate a miniaturized Super Nintendo Entertainment Center console. It has fully functioning power, reset, and eject buttons as well. So we'll get the instructions set aside, we'll take a look at that in a minute, and we'll go ahead and continue unboxing the Pi case. I really like this case. It's really great. It's about as close as you can get to an actual SNES replica. Very high quality. All the buttons and switches work. Here I'm demonstrating how they work. Even the eject works, and I'll show that later. Additionally, we have a cartridge magnetic piece that sticks to the top of the case. We have some instructions here for how that works. Take a look at that later. Comes with a nice handy screwdriver. Pretty important reminder to remove the SD card before installing the Raspberry Pi. You will break your SD card. I think I may have done this once before. Here we have some optional labels for the magnetic cartridge, so we can stick those on later, whichever one we decide. Here we have the two USB plugs that expand the USBs to the front of the Raspberry Pi case. Here we have the GPIO harness that we'll be using later, and some double-sided sticky tape for the cartridge. Overall, it looks very well designed and built. Alright, we'll peel this piece off a little bit later. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hardware they sent. Comes with a nice little screwdriver that fits your project perfectly, so you don't have to go digging for one. Comes with appropriate size screws for mounting the Raspberry Pi, and then enclosing the case. Comes with foot pads too for keeping the Pi from sliding around on a tabletop. We've got an instruction booklet here, but it's very minimal, mostly just imagery, so keep that in mind. You need to pay attention to what they're showing you. I've added a little piece of masking tape here to help provide a barrier between the Pi and some screws that are there. I think there's potential for a short if you do not cover that up, but again, that's just me. I've plugged in the USB expansions, which will give you access to USB on the front of the device now. So now we'll get the Pi inserted and seated before we start adding screws. Now we're going to plug in the GPIO harness. It goes on the far right with the red all the way on the far right as well. So just make sure you have that same arrangement going so the harness will connect properly and work properly. And we're going to do a test run, make sure we've got emulation station working as it should be. Looks like that's working. And we've got screws to actually attach the Pi to the case. Only 3 of them, keep this in mind, and you're going to only attach the top left, and bottom right screws. Leave the top right screw open, as that's used to actually assemble the case later. So here we're going to cover a little detail that I found interesting and a little bit annoying. I wasn't a big fan of. So right now I have safe shutdown enabled. I've installed the script already to make this work. However, the light there does not illuminate when I have safe shutdown enabled. When I turn off safe shutdown, the light comes back on and works as expected. However, when using it, it does not appear to work. So I've opted to not use the optional safe shutdown switch, as I like to be able to tell if the device is on or off. I don't know if this is just isolated to my model, or if the script is technically not working correctly, or if we need to look into this further. But as of now, it does not appear that the indicator light works on both modes, which is a little frustrating. I was fully expecting that to work properly in both modes. So now I have shut it down, and you can see the Pi is actually shutting down, switching off. It's running the script for the safe shutdown. Green light goes off. But again, no indicator light on the front of the case. Okay, so we've added the label here. This is the one I've chosen for the cartridge piece. I think that looks pretty nice. I think we might customize this further later, but I think we'll go with that for the time being. Here's a piece of little double sticky tape that we need to use to attach the magnet that we're going to be adding to the case. So you hit the eject button to expose the underside of the eject flap. I'm going to take this double-sided sticky tape and attach it to the magnet first. I believe this is going to be the easiest way to do it. So we're going to go ahead and attach it now. Does stick as it should. It will slide around a little bit, but that's expected with the magnet only being in the middle. Would be nice if maybe there were two, but I don't know how many magnets you really want inside of a enclosure this close to the Raspberry Pi and your SD card. All switches appear to work now that we've got it together. Looking very nice. Now we will just look at adding the little rubber feet, and I think we'll be done.